Welcome back, viewers. Our focus remains on the top stories of this hour, where one that we're tracking very closely is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's two-day Kuwait visit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in the Gulf nation of Kuwait for a second-day visit. This is a historic visit, viewers, as it is the first time that any Indian Prime Minister in 43 years has in fact visited Kuwait. Well, the Prime Minister received a rousing reception upon his arrival with cultural performances and met enthusiastic diaspora at his hotel as well. He has also engaged in a heartfelt meeting with 101-year-old Mangal Sen Handa, who is a former Indian Foreign Service officer. Moreover, he also met Abdullah Al-Baron and Abdul Latif Al-Nasif, who translated and edited the ancient epics of Indian Ramayana and Mahabharata into Arabic. He has also spoken at the Hala Modi Diaspora Outreach event at the Sheikh Al Abdullah Stadium. He has in fact thanked the Emir of Kuwait for his invitation and stated that India and Kuwait are looking forward to building a robust partnership in trade, technology, innovation and defense. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also attended the 26th Arabian Gulf Cup opening ceremony in Kuwait. During the event, he met the Emir of Kuwait, Sheikh Michel El Ahmed El Zabir El Sabha, and both the leaders watched the biennial football tournament. He also joined the Emir, the Crown Prince, and the Prime Minister of Kuwait in witnessing the grand opening ceremony. Aditya Vadawan joins me. My colleague joins me live on the broadcast for more. Aditya, good morning. At this time when in fact this two-day historic visit by the Indian Prime Minister in a span of 43 years to Kuwait in fact reaches on its second day, what are the latest schedule and the programs that have been scheduled for today and the people can look forward to from Prime Minister Narendra Modi's itinerary in Kuwait?
Absolutely. Good morning to you, Simran. As you rightly pointed out, it's an historic visit by an Indian Prime Minister to Kuwait. You know, MEA in its briefing, Ministry of External Affairs in its briefing also had said that the PM Modi's visit to Kuwait will open a new chapter in the bilateral ties between the two countries. If you see, but today the PM is expected to, engage in signing deals related to, trade and defense, because a day before yesterday in his MEA in his briefing also said that the two topics that will be laid emphasis upon is about trade and defense, and moreover in the Middle East nation, Indian interests hinge around hydrocarbon diplomacy, as India imports 80% of oil and Indian diaspora, 80% of oil and 80% of oil from these Middle East nations. So hence, any country in the Middle East becomes important for India with respect to its oil needs. So I think today also this is another significant thing that needs to be focused upon, and basically the bilateral the needs. The deals regarding trade and defense will be signed today. So this is all we have as of now, Simran. Yeah.
Aditya, also give some emphasis on the fact that at this point Prime Minister Narendra Modi has categorically mentioned and stressed importance on the fact that India, while he was in Kuwait, stressing that India is going to be emerging as the skill capital of the world. What is the messaging that has been reinforced through this narrative?
This is like, India, it's like showing India as a Vishwaguru, because, India has been on the path of becoming an Atmanirbhar Bharat, So when we say that it is a skill capital, when Prime Minister Modi says that it's a skill capital of the world, means that he is portraying India as an Atmanirbhar Bharat, as a hub of opportunities to the global world. So I think this is a very
All right, Aditya. Thank you for sharing the latest, and in fact, we'll continue to track that very closely. Well, for now, Ambassador Suresh Goyal, who's a former diplomat, joins me live on the broadcast. Appreciate you joining me. Very good morning. Sir, in fact, what we are looking at this point of time, it's a very ambitious as well as a very historic visit. The messaging and the narrative through any visits of Prime Minister Narendra Modi is always put on the spotlight. But when we are talking about Kuwait, what in your understanding this entails to? How, in fact, this crucial visit and the timing in a span of nearly over 4 decades, in fact, means for both the countries and the people of the countries going forward and collaborating and thinking of stressing the bilateral relationships in the areas of technology, in the areas of, in fact, skill development. What are the key factors, one can take away from the understanding of how this important visit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Kuwait and meeting the high dignitaries also feels like?
You have given a very good summary of the background to the visit and what Prime Minister Modi and India would be looking for in terms of this very important bilateral relationship. 2 or 3 factors which I would want to indicate. You talked about skill first of all. Kuwait is a small country with very small population, and therefore any kind of development work will involve a huge manpower, skilled manpower. And when we talk about India engaging in Kuwait's economic development, role of the skilled manpower is very important. At the moment, you have 900,000 people engaged in various professions in Kuwait, and the Prime Minister's message is that Kuwait can depend upon India for provision of the skills in the development process and growth process in Kuwait, number one. Number two, what we are also focusing on is that India is now the hub of technology. Digital technology, we are working on fintech, we are working on all kinds of things which are the modern pillars of any economy. Therefore, we are engaging with Kuwait in economy and through the digital the technology area. And number three, there are many more. Energy. Kuwait again would, as a strategy kind of a step, would look for partnerships in terms of storage, production, supply lines, resilience. Please do remember that Kuwait is at the end of the Gulf of Oman, and therefore for the access into the Arab Sea, the India-Kuwait partnership becomes very important. While all this, Kuwait is going to become the president of the Gulf Council, very important role in the Gulf. Syria is happening, Gaza, therefore Kuwait role becomes even more important. It is located strategically with Saudi Arabia and Turkey close to it, and both of them are playing a very important role in development. And therefore, if we have to keep our options open in the Gulf, Kuwait becomes very, very important for us, both bilaterally and in terms of the regional strategic dynamics. Thank you.
Mr. Goel, thank you for giving us, in fact, the insights and the understanding of this strategic and important historic visit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi while being on an ambitious narrative for India and the Kuwait relationships. Now, it's time to shift our focus to other breaking developments that we are tracking very closely, which in fact